Like to welcome you to our online Master of Arts and Live Entertainment Management information session. We are going to cover a lot of content and ultimately hope this will help you to determine if our program is going to be a good fit for you. My name is Rashonda Butler. I am a student advocate here at the University of Miami Online Division. If you should decide to apply and are accepted to the program, I will work with you closely during your first year of class to help you get acclimated to the online environment. We do have a lot of content to cover tonight and hope that you will find this information useful. Before we get started, we do have a few housekeeping items. We do understand that your time is very valuable, and we want to be courteous of that. This session will last about 45 minutes. If for any reason you need to head out or if you come in late, don't worry. You're going to be getting a copy of this session. It'll be emailed to you later on this week. Again, we are going to cover a lot of content tonight with regards to the courses and the structure. You're going to hear from faculty within the program as well as to alumni. We want to make sure that this session is specifically geared for you. So if there's a specific question that you have for these panelists, you will see a Q&A feature at the bottom of your screen. So please feel free to utilize that. We would love to cover any questions that you have, but we do ask that you utilize this time as efficiently as possible. So try to make sure that these questions are geared toward the content and structure of the program. If you have specific questions with regards to like the application or financial aid, be sure to connect with one of our enrollment advisors. They do look forward to speaking with you on an individual basis and will help you through the process. Tonight, we do have Frost Online Director, Andrea Jimenez. I'm going to have her to take it from here.
Thank you, Rashonda. Always amazing to have you be my co-anchor here, if you will. Hello, everybody. I hope you all have had a beautiful Tuesday, and we are just so grateful that you're here with us. With that said, I'm going to allow our fantastic panelists to introduce themselves because I definitely will not be able to do them justice. I will say Ray Sanchez, he was caught up in class and had to deal with had some students come to him after class. So he's engaged with those students at the moment, but we're hoping he'll be able to make it in within the next 15, 20 minutes. But without further ado, our program director and professor, Gary Wood, will get us started, and then we will segue over to one of our alumni and one of our soon-to-be alumni who's currently one of our students in the program. Gary, can you please take us away? Tell us about you, what you do in the program, classes, go for it.
Well, hello, everybody, and thank you again for joining us, and thanks to all my team for helping put this together. It's quite an honor to have such a first-class operation going on here and to be part of it. Yes, I am the program director. I was the one who laid out the curriculum and designed the online program, but I certainly had a lot of help from amazing people in looking at what exactly are the most appropriate and most exciting things for students to engage in while they're going through the course. So this is my 10th year at the University of Miami, and it's been almost that many with UOnline. So there's been a lot of alum already come through the program working somewhere around the world. So it's very, very exciting to be part of it. I do teach several of the courses, although I don't teach them all. And the program is structured that you have certain number of electives and a certain number of required courses. So you don't see me all the time, but I'm always there behind the scenes working to make sure that you have what you need or any questions that you have along the way. I'm a big advocate for helping people find careers and look for the right opportunities as they're going through the program. But again, I'm happy to help you along the way with all the courses that you engage in. And I'm so excited and honored that you're willing to consider this amazing program as part of a big step in your career.
Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. Alana, can we get started with you? Talk to us as one of our current students. Tell us, when will you be graduating and what are you hoping, or if not engaging currently, that you're building yourself up to a career as it is in the live industry entertainment? Go ahead.
Hey, so hi, I'm Alana. I graduated from The Ohio State University with a dual Bachelor of Arts in Political Science and Psychology. I have always had a love for entertainment and law. My family has upheld like a presence in the industry. It originated in Kingston, Jamaica. So that's kind of how I've taken over. My dad started it, and now I became the CEO of that. So after graduation, my hope is to, completely take over, but also expand it here in America, because it's more so in the Caribbean, but I want to kind of venture out and, build my own connections. I'm scheduled to graduate. I believe I just heard it's May 9th. So yes, I'm pretty excited about that. I feel like it went by so quick, but the experience was so nice and I really enjoyed it. Everyone has been great.
Thank you, Alana. We appreciate that. And we'll dive into your experiences very shortly. Rachel, please tell us, when did you graduate, what you're doing now after you graduated, and anything else you want to share with us in terms of your introduction here. Go ahead.
Of course. Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Fishman. I graduated from the program in May of 2021. Since I have been with CFG Bank Arena in Baltimore, Maryland as the marketing manager. The arena opened this past April, so I was part of the opening team, making sure everything was up and running, essentially starting from scratch on this new building, which is really cool and exciting. While I was in this program, I was actually working at another venue as a marketing coordinator. So it was really cool to take what I was learning in these classes and using them to apply them to my current job and the job I had then. And being able to then take what I was doing every single day and bringing it to class. So it was a really cool experience. And I love it. Working in venues has always been a dream of mine. And being able to do it now, this program has just accelerated my career in so many ways.
Thank you, Rachel. We appreciate that. So without further ado, let's jump straight in. And we've pretty much been doing it. I'm going to be asking you questions, and we're just going to engage in thought from all of you fantastic people here. Gary, let's start off with the curriculum. Okay, let's talk about our courses in the degree program. What do those look like? We touch upon legal aspects. We touch upon financial management and live entertainment. We've had students tell us how beneficial both have been in their careers, even after having graduated from the program, and even students that pursued those two classes electives in the music industry program that we also have online. Talk to us about the curriculum that we have available online.
Well, you touched on a little bit of it. Yeah. I want to say that the curriculum is sort of ever evolving, because as my colleague, Professor Sanchez, will probably chime in, is that we try to be right at the front edge of what's happening in the industry. Right. We really want to focus on what are the new trends, what are the new skills, what are the things that are happening, so that our students, when they graduate, don't feel like they're behind. I hope that my colleagues here would agree with that, because I want them to step into an organization and be right on top of what's happening. So whether it's global arts management, which is 726, or whether it's legal aspects, or whether it's touring and production, we really try to incorporate not just best practices that, of course, have been built up in the industry over a long time, but we really want to stay focused on what's happening today. So the curriculum, again, to use the term front edge, is really designed to be ever changing along with the industry. And so we talk a lot about what current events are going on and what can we learn from those current events, because that's what you're stepping into. And yes, there is flexibility. I mean, you've got some required courses, which I think are vital for you to be able to take in this, but you also have some flexibility to look at some other courses that may expand your thinking or may be more in line with what you're intending to do. But so I call it your degree, your way. Right. Meaning it's going to be your degree, you're going to be a graduate, it's going to be exciting, but at the same time, there's going to be flexibility in there to you to kind of decide some of the path that you want to take. So I love being part of it. I'm really proud of my adjuncts that teach along with the program. And so again, let me know how I can be of service to you along the way.
Thank you for that, Gary. Rachel, can you tell us about the courses that you took in the program, your experiences with them, and anything that just sticks out to you as it pertains to your professional career today? Have you been able to apply them? Have we translated skills? Talk to us about that a bit.
Absolutely. Like Professor Wood said, there's the core classes you have to take and the electives, and you can kind of cater that to what you want to do. So knowing that I wanted to be in the venue world and in marketing, I kind of knew I needed to know about touring and production, finances, legal, which, sometimes you don't think about, but throwing up like ticket giveaways and contests, you have to do terms and conditions. So it's little things you don't necessarily think of. And then you take these classes and everything just starts to click and all of the classes intertwine. So maybe what you're learning in touring and production translates over to marketing and like the global classes and music sync and everything else. So it's really cool going from class to class and year to year, seeing what you can take from those previous courses and seeing how it translates, and everything just starts to click. And you're like, okay, now I understand why I took that class and why I need to take this class and how you can move forward in your career and what it brings.
Thank you, Rachel. Alana, can you tell us, as a current student right now, what are those courses that you've engaged in, and essentially your experiences with as many, and if there's any memorable moments that you've had in you being able to translate it into your position as a CEO? Ooh, unmute.
There we go. I'll say there's been quite a few that I feel are my favorite, but same thing as Rachel said, like they kind of intertwine, which I enjoyed. It started with financial, so I learned how to do like my budget plan, which I had no idea because previously I had, no type of marketing or financial experience. So it was great. The professor helped us from the beginning to the end. I also took copyright law. Love law. So I took that as long as, what was that, legal aspects. I took that as well. Those two together were my favorite because I felt like I was able to actually, mix entertainment and law together. And that's what I'm kind of doing for my dad's business. So it kind of started with him sending me contracts and asking me, could you read this over? Because of course he has the experience in it, but he just needs a second eye. So I felt I wanted to gain the experience from the beginning. So I learned it from the foundation up. So that's why I found this program and I thought this would be great because I was able to learn, everything that I felt that I needed. And then what am I currently taking? I think Rachel said it's tour management. I had no idea like where to start for that. And now I'm learning, about writers and everything else like that. So I'm loving it.
Thank you, Alana. We appreciate that. And Gary, we got a question here in the Q&A. Thank you, Lawrence. And it's fantastic to meet you. He talked where we're talking about in terms of how much collaboration between our online students, our on-campus community. I know what since I've joined the program, we're only building on that ever since I started. So can you speak a little bit to that? We've had students, Lauren, just so you know, they're able to come on campus whenever they want. And I've had them reach out to me and we coordinate all that. So we'll spend the full day here and you'll be able to jump into classes should Professor Wood have one, of course, but we can coordinate that. So that's something to think about. But Gary, please go ahead. What does that community look like between online and on campus and how we're building that?
Well, it's very true that it's growing. Technology is helping. It's making it a little bit easier than it was even just a couple of years ago, but it's not totally true. But I try to have the camera on for several of my lectures during the course of the semester here on campus. And when I think of it, and when I send out a newsletter, I'll alert online students if they want to just watch and listen to what's happening in the class. And I try to do that more frequently, and it's getting to be a little bit more of a natural occurrence. And yeah, some students who are local will come by and sit in the classes. I have one now who comes to every one of my 726 class, even though he's taking the courses online. But yes, I mean, I try to do the best I can between the two, but I think the biggest thing is not so much about listening to me lecture. It's really about networking with students who are on campus. To be honest, you're doing the same degree, you're doing the same amount of work, you're learning the same stuff, but it's really, you come from such diverse backgrounds that it's something I can do much more of, I think, in terms of making sure there's collaboration and networking between the online and the on-campus students, because again, you're going through the same experience, you're all Canes. So it's a great question. And I think that interaction is going to only grow as we go forward.
Thank you, Gary. Appreciate that. Rachel and Alana, I'm coming over to you. We talked about the courses a bit. And staying there. We know that our classes, we typically students take 2 classes a semester, but 1 class each 7-week session in that semester. So with taking those 2 classes, but taking 1 class in a 7-week time frame and taking another class in a 7-week time frame every semester, how did that feel like for you first jumping into that sequencing, managing your time? What were skills that you feel that you built or that you felt that you that would only make you more successful or a student more successful if they practice it so that they're able to really get everything in terms of all the assignments, if there's their projects, exams, what have you, within that 7-week time period, excuse me. Talk to us a little bit about that. Rachel, I'll come to you first.
Yeah, so I have always been big on organization and all that. So when this started, got myself a planner. And I just put everything in it, what I was doing in my personal life, in my work life, and school life, and making sure that I set time aside each week for these classes. I wanted to be in this program. I wanted to do everything I could to better myself and to get the most I could out of this program. And so I set that time aside, making sure that nothing else in the outside world matters right now. I am just focusing on this class, on this course, the homework, the projects, the videos, all of it. And knowing, I was working full-time at a venue, so events pop up, things happen, but making sure that I had a scheduled, allotted time for these classes to make the most of the experience. And that way to keep myself accountable that, okay, if I'm giving myself an hour this day and something comes up, I need to rearrange my schedule. I need to do something to make sure I give myself that hour back.
Thank you, Rachel, for that. Alana, talk to us about that. What skills is it that you believe that you believe students should have, or a person should have, I should say, in your opinion, to really get the most out of those 7 weeks, get everything submitted? Talk to us a little bit about that and how you've been able to manage it. Because I mean, you got a 3.9 as of now. So I'm not, like we don't want to, like put you out there, but you're doing a very good job in terms of your transitioning into grad school, especially online. So please.
Thank you. I also worked, so the best thing for me, my calendar. I put everything in my calendar. Depending on the professor, typically things open up, I believe that would be like Sunday night. So I would give myself Monday, probably around like 11, 12 o'clock. Like I had a schedule every week because we go by modules each week. So I would go and I would just start watching, like each video or however, PowerPoint, however they had it set up. I learned like better typing. So I would type my notes up, go through that, and then if it was open, because some professors, they have discussion posts, but others would say you do like discussion videos or something like that. I enjoyed both of them. My favorite thing about the discussion posts was engaging with everyone else because you see familiar names from other courses and things like that. But the biggest thing for me was organization, is exactly what Rachel said, like staying on top of that. I know my last class was kind of difficult for me because I want to like start it and finish it. So everything I have to do like for that week, it's done. But for the discussion post, you kind of have to wait for other people to respond. So like you have to wait for the rest of your classmates, respond 2 times. So it's like, all right, kind of waiting later than I typically do, but it's just all about having your own routine. So I say like sticking to that, but also having that work life and personal life balance, because you have to have that to be successful. I feel like that's been the best thing for me.
Thank you, Alana. Appreciate that. Gary, can you expand a little bit more as we talk about our 7-week structure and in terms of how we are sequenced for our courses? Talk to us a little bit about that. What are those things that, in your opinion, would make any individual successful in this program? How we should be applying ourselves? Can you give us a little bit of insight from a professor perspective?
Yeah, well, it's really tricky for me because, and I've not really had a lot of conversations with my alums on this topic, which I really need to, but the degree doesn't necessarily run sequential. It's not like you have to do A and then B and then C. Sure. And in some regard, that is wonderful because of the interaction of the courses, and it doesn't necessarily slow people up because they have to wait for something to come in a certain order, which is both true online and on campus. But I would think from a learner standpoint, I have to admit that it might be tricky because you don't feel it necessarily a sense of sequential. So the one thing I would say to a potential student would be is the fact that you take one course or two at a time, however many you're allowed at any given time, but you kind of have to be able to make a lot of these connections yourself. Now, we're not dealing with undergrads, we're not dealing with inexperienced people, we're dealing with mature professionals. So I trust in your ability to do that, and people clearly can. But it's actually something I kind of love about the fact that it isn't just this paint by numbers, A, B, C, D. It requires you to stay on top of things in such a way because of the sequence of your courses may not be exactly the same as someone else. And, I would turn it over to Rachel and Alana to say, hey, is that good or bad? But I think that it nurtures that expectation that that's kind of what happens in the real world. So we should probably do it in a real world way online.
That's awesome, Gary. And you know what, Rachel, I'm going to pass that over to you and Alana as well. Speak a little bit more about that insight that Gary just left with us. You don't have to take classes in a specific order, if you will, but that structure of, okay, it is going to be 7 weeks. But in terms of like being able to really be flexible with your own curriculum and design it to your own interest outside of the core classes, of course, what did that feel like for you as a student, Rachel?
I loved it. There were some classes where some of the electives, and I was like, it would be a cool class, but it may not necessarily apply to me and what I want to do in my career. And then there were other classes like tour management and production, marketing. There was a marketing and promotions class where it's like, these directly relate to what I want to do. And, being able to make it so that is my class, that is my course, it just kind of gave me more confidence in my career, knowing that, okay, I'm taking these classes, I'm learning not just textbook, but as Professor Wood said, real world, stuff coming from other people. You're in a master's online graduate program. People are working, people are in the professions, they're working their 9 to 5s or whatever hours, this industry works. And from all over the country. So really being able to choose my own path has been great. The classes were just everything I could have wanted. And it really catered to me and made me feel like I was getting the best learning I could possibly get out of this program.
Thank you, Rachel. Alana, anything to add to that?
Same thing. I feel like it was tailored exactly to how like I wanted it to be. Every class that I took, like I enjoyed it, even though there were some that were more difficult than others because I, never had the experience in them. I enjoyed it. I loved it.
And Rachel, talk to us about why you chose live entertainment as your degree path, as what you want to do, if you will, professionalize yourself in as a specialized degree, this live entertainment degree. Why did you choose it? Did you have a moment where in your life where you're like, it's such a vast industry, right? And so you could do so many different things. Why did you choose it? And what got you to that place of working in venues?
Yeah, so I went to a fashion school for undergrad. I thought I was going to be a fashion designer. Turns out that's not the case. And as I was going through my undergraduate program, I was living in New York, and music is everywhere. It's everywhere you go. And I loved going to concerts. I loved being, anywhere there was music. And I figured there has to be a way to get paid to go to concerts and to do all this stuff I enjoy.
Wow.
And so I started finding internships in the music industry, which eventually led to a full-time job when I graduated, working in a music venue in New York. And then when COVID hit, I thought, okay, well, the music industry is essentially shut down. But there has to be something I can do to further my career and my knowledge and not just sit around and wait for this unknown pandemic that who knew when it was going to end. And so I was looking I was looking at things I can do, online classes. I knew I wanted to go to grad school, and I had family that went to University of Miami and in different schools, and there's not enough incredible things they could say about it. So I looked online, and there was a program that I was like, if this program was made for me and everything I want to do, like this, I couldn't even believe it was real. Going through looking at the classes and the curriculum and seeing that it was completely online, living and working in New York, I was like, somebody pinch me, this is a dream. And it was just incredible being able to find it, something to do during COVID to, like I said, further my career, further my knowledge, and make these connections with other people in the industry across the nation.
Thank you for that, Rachel. That's fantastic. Alana, you told us that your family has a direct alignment with the industry, but can you tell us, did you always fall in love with it because it's something you grew up in? And if you could speak to us a little bit about what essentially like you are working in terms of like the company. What does that business look like as it pertains to live entertainment? And how does it apply to what you're doing now in our program?
So over the years, like I used to just accompany my dad to like different festivals, or like he will work as a tour management or production, because the name of our business is Tango's Entertainment Production. So it originated Kingston, Jamaica. My family, my dad's side is from Montego Bay, Jamaica. And then from there, it kind of like the older I got, it's more so like he's kind of giving me more responsibility. So it's like now I'm doing the coordination, the communication, all the logistics and management and things like that. But I love it. The more that I take this program, like I feel like I'm learning things where I can use it like hands-on. I feel like that was back in August. There was a show with Chris Brown. He performed in Kingston, Jamaica. And actually one of our artists is who was the MC for that entire show. So it was just a first like experience for me to have my own show, to manage, our artists for that. And I just loved it.
Thank you, Alana. That's awesome. Gary, can you tell us about, and I mean, you do have connections with our alumni, with current students now, both on campus and online. In terms of career paths that you've seen alumni go on or are currently in, even as a current student, what has been those unique career paths that you have seen, and either in the program now or post-graduation as it applies to live entertainment? And just because the industry, as we know, it's so vast. You could do so many things in there, and it can be music, but it could also be musical theater, dance, right? It's different kinds of art. So can you talk about that in terms of just career, the trajectories, and what you've seen in your experience?
Well, that's something that's really exciting for me as the director, to have all these students come through the program and see what they're up to after they graduate. But, one of our alums is working in the world of dance. Another alum is working in, more than one working in the world of orchestras. Several are working in more of the commercial industry, like Live Nation and AEG. So, we sometimes divide the world up into the more nonprofit side of the arts and culture, and then we have the more commercial world of AEG and Live Nation and so forth. And it's true, some students prefer one over the other.
Yeah.
And we have students working in every area, basically, of the industry that I can think of. From finance, we have one that does the closings after Broadway shows. And, so it's kind of all across the board. And again, that's kind of the way the program or the degree program is set up, is because we don't want to pigeonhole someone into one specific area.
Right.
It really is about flexibility. And you can hear from the two students here, Rachel and Alana, that, it's tough when the students are smarter than the professor, but they kind of have this tendency to really see the real world that they're living in. And they're able to make smart decisions based on what they're doing in the degree and what the degree can do for them. So it really is, as you said, Andrea, it's really all over in terms of where people are working. We have one student who's actually doing marketing, as Rachel is, for a professional soccer team, but he did his degree in entertainment. And so with that soccer team, he also does all of the in-house entertainment hires and booking and so forth. So it's pretty exciting to see the variety of things that people are doing along the way. Very exciting.
Thank you for that, Gary. So we're getting close to the time where I'm going to have to throw this over to Rashonda so we can wrap up here. But just some final questions here for our panelists. Rachel and Alana, why did you choose UOnline, Frost Online, UOnline? Why did you choose us? What was it? I'm sure you could have gone anywhere that you would have wanted to, but what was it that made you choose our program? And yeah, give us that insight, please. Rachel, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there were just a lot of factors that everything just kind of lined up. Tuition and scholarships for this program were incredible. The courses and just the overall program. Like I said, having it be online when I'm nowhere near Miami, nowhere near Florida. But being able to do the program in its entirety was a big one. And just, the name of the school and being able to see where other alumni have gone off to, and people who have taken this curriculum, what they have ended up doing.
Thank you for that, Rachel. And please clarify, does your degree, it says University of Miami and it has Frost School of Music, does there anywhere say online, or is it the exact same degree that you would get if you were on campus? Please clarify that for us.
Same exact degree. Every interview I did, anytime people asked questions, they were like, "Oh my God, it must have been so sunny." I said, "Nope. I did the whole thing online from my living room." And people are so shocked to hear that. And, it's something that not a lot of schools and curriculums have, is having a full online program.
Well,
So-
Rachel, no one's ever asked me, but if someone asked me to send some, sand from the beach, I could go over there and grab some and send it to you, just so you could,
They're
put
like,
that
"Oh,
between
how's
your
campus?"
toes.
I'm like, I have no
you know.
idea.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
so let me know.
Will do.
Love that. Thank you, Rachel, for that clarification. Alana, please go ahead. Why Frost? Why did you choose us? You're about to graduate spring 24 now. Why did you choose us?
For me, I loved that it was online. I was able to work like full time. It was so flexible for my schedule, and the courses I was able to pick and tailor to my liking. Everything, every class that I took, I have no complaints about. Like, and I feel like I learned something new that I can use hands on. I'm actually like not ready to graduate. Like, I wish I could take more classes. Like, I enjoyed it because I feel like I can learn more and I actually can use it, Yeah, that's how I feel.
I mean, both amazing, and we appreciate you both truly so much. And one last thing for both you, Rachel and Alana, how quick did our faculty get back to you whenever you had questions while you were in the class? How quick did they take forever, or was it, hey, yeah, no, we got to get, like how were they with engaging with you through email or any other way that you may have needed, whether it be virtual office hours that, as you know, we offer weekly? How was that engagement? How quickly? Rachel, you want to start first?
Oh, it was so, I couldn't believe how fast I was getting responses from Professor Wood, Professor Sanchez. It was like, if not within minutes, within hours. It was great. Always available. Office hours were great. Even just shooting them an email, just a question I had, on the fly. There was nothing they never got back to me on, within like the quickest response time, which I definitely took for granted, because in the real world, people do not reply as quickly.
That's amazing. Thank you. Alana, any thoughts to add to that?
Yes, for me, I feel like they responded quick. I actually just saw Professor Wood my first time on campus, and he took the time out of his like hectic schedule to show me around Frost, and it was great. So I just want to thank you again for that. I enjoyed it.
I'm so happy you got to do that. Gary, do you have any final thoughts here for us in terms of the program, what people can expect? We've gotten just such great insight, both from Rachel and Alana, but anything that you want to add that I may not have touched on in our questions?
Well, yeah, the thing I would say is that although Rachel and Alana may not know it, their work that they submit, the high quality work they submit is all part of the program growing and learning. It's not like I have 100% knowledge of everything there is in the world. I live in a different place because I've been around a little bit longer and see things differently. Their perspective, their contributions, their ideas matter. And so it shifts thinking and it contributes to the vibrancy of the program, because it steers me thinking about things that maybe I wouldn't have thought of, where I'm coming from. So it's the students who participate are part of that ever evolution of the program and keeping it alive and very much about today and not the past. And so I thank them for that, because their mature and professional yet still youthful contributions keep the program a true University of Miami, because here at the University of Miami, it's about innovation, and it's about today, and it's about making a difference, getting out there and going. And they exemplify that spirit, and it keeps my energy high. And thank you for the kind words. I try to do the best I can in support of student success. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Gary. And thank you, Alana and Rachel, again, for being here with us. Your insights were just absolutely tremendous. Thank you, everyone that's in the audience. We are just here for you. Email us, reach out anytime. We're here. This is what this program is about. And we're always trying to get better as we go. Rashonda, I will leave it with you. And thank you so much for being with us and for helping us again.
And Andrea, thank you for joining us this evening. Panelists, thank you as well. And audience, thank you for joining us. Tonight. Well, currently we are accepting applications. Let's start there. We do have an early admissions deadline, which is going to be Monday, November 6th. If you submit your application by that deadline, we are going to offer you a $300 deposit fee waiver. So that's nice. So remember, admission deadline, Monday, November the 6th. If you have questions, you can reach out to one of our enrollment advisors. Their telephone number is 1-800-411-2290. And if you are ready to get started on your application, please use the QR code below. And thank you again for joining us. Have a good evening.